Hello everyone, my name is Osmo582, and welcome to Payday 3. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another What Matters review. Today we're covering Payday 3, a little while after it came out, but still a game that's worthy of checking out. My name is Osmo582 as always, and let's get right into it. So let's begin with the lore. The game begins with, well, let's let the cinematic explain to you where we're at in the story.
Good thing I was able to reach you guys. The whole thing moved so fast I almost didn't connect the dots in time.
Yeah, thanks for the heads up. Shade, right?
Don't worry about it. I made a promise to Bane to watch your backs.
Yeah. Great. You saved us. Whoop-de-doo. What the fuck happened?
Wankers tried to snuff us all, that's what fucking happened.
It was carefully planned. All the attacks happened at the same time.
And they froze our accounts. I checked. We're broke. All of us.
It's a conspiracy theory.
Well, it's happening, so it's an actual conspiracy. Motherfuckers.
Whoever did this is extremely well connected. And you've pissed off more than a few powerful people over the years. I'll start digging, but it's gonna take some time.
What happened to the others?
I reached out to everyone, but I only got through to the 5 of you.
So much for retirement. We're gonna need cash to get back at these assholes.
I've got the perfect job to get you started. And I got you some supplies. Check the crate behind you.
Lady, I like you already. All right, enough talking. Let's get to work.
So much for retirement, am I right, boys? And that's pretty much the story that we know up to this point. Somebody frigged us over, and now we gotta get some cash. And there's only one way the Payday crew knows how to make cash. My only confusing part about this is, I thought it was weird that it was the 4 original guys, and then Joy was the only one of anybody else of the teams to actually respond. I would have assumed that Houston, of all people, would have responded to the call, but what are you gonna do? Anyway, let's move on. Before we even get into the game, let's actually explain some of the progression, ways you level up in this game, customizations and stuff like that. And let's just go over, off the bat, some of the bad about this game immediately. Your game finally boots up from a lengthy loading screen at the start. You'll be greeted by your last played character, and he looks all great with your last loadout, and then you'll notice something eerily scary that will remind you of the latest Call of Duty. Your recommended challenges on the right. What? What does that mean? Oh yeah, you guessed it correctly. The only way to level up in this game at the end of a heist is actually to do challenges to get majority of your XP. And like I just said, majority of it. Turns out if you just do a heist and get all the bags, you can get a whopping just about 70 XP per heist. It's a shame that it costs a few hundred to level up every time, but hey, you know, if you do your challenges, you'll be able to level up quicker. In Payday 2, which we're going to be drawing some, similarities to this game, you're able to just, play the game, do a heist, and level up based on how you do at the end of a heist. In this game, they essentially force you to play in certain ways to complete certain challenges that will give you more XP that will allow you to gain more infamy faster. If you don't complete these challenges, you will level up extremely slowly. It's honestly a grind if you don't do the challenges. So hey, you wanted to use that assault rifle in a heist, too bad. Your latest challenge is to use a shotgun to get a certain amount of kills. You better whip out that shotgun and use it for the next 15 heists to get all those challenges. It's bad. It's a horrible system. Next, a small tidbit is we're going to talk about the menus in this game. Now, the menus are a little annoying in this because, let's say you're outfitting your gun with stuff. The options don't stick until you leave the menu and then go back into it. It is the dumbest thing on the planet, and it's very, very, very irritating. Sometimes the menus are very delayed, and they're very slow at, updating when you're customizing your guy or adding on equipment, etc. It's very annoying. It's just something to mention. Next, let's also talk about something bad. In-game currency known as C-Stacks. You want to get a really cool preset weapon? We're going to have to get C-Stacks. When I first heard of C-Stacks, I assumed that they were going to be microtransaction type currency. But it turns out it's not. It's a type of way to just force you to play the game more. You trade in-game money for C-stacks, and the more C-stacks you buy, the more expensive they get due to inflation. And then you have to wait real time for them to go down in value. The challenge system, the C-stack system, make me question, whatever happened to game designers making a game that was fun and then just letting you play the game? Like, this is just like, they're artificially forcing you to play this game. It's like, come back to do your challenges to level up. You have to play the way we want you to play, or else you're never going to progress. Hey, you want this really cool gun or customization items? You better literally grind money after money after money in all these heists, which there aren't that many in this game, to earn enough C-stacks to buy it. And you can only buy C-stacks 10 at a time as the max. It makes no sense. It's just a waste of time. It's just like, if the game was really fun, it would be, good. But even then, it still wouldn't be that good, because it's like you're forcing people to play in a way that you want them to play, as opposed to how it was in Payday 2, where it was pretty much pick what you want, take what you want, go in, have a good time, then leave and do it again. It's like, what happened to that game formula? I don't understand it. Before we begin discussing the gameplay specifics, I want to talk about one more baloney thing before we get into the gameplay things, and that's going to be the matchmaking. Payday 2, you boot up the game, you hit play offline, you can play the game by yourself. In Payday 3, you gotta make the game invite only and actually wait real time for the matchmaking system to find you a server to play by yourself with bots. What? I don't understand why they didn't carry over the changes they made to Payday 2. In Payday 2, not only do you have a full offline mode to play by yourself, but you also have the crew AI customization system where you can pick the people that are on your team, pick the weapons they use, the buffs they give. What happened to allowing people to play the game on your own? To me, this is why certain things that we're going to discuss later on in the review, mainly with the sound design, why they probably did certain things in a certain way, because they never really meant for you to play by yourself. But we'll get to that. But just to let you know, the matchmaking is dog shit. Without further ado, let's get to the gameplay. Alright, I know it looks cool, but first let's just discuss the boring parts about gameplay first, and then we'll get to the fun part. Damn it. One of the positives I'll actually give this game in the gameplay department is actually the amount of customization and even the loadout screen itself. To me, it's decently put together, and there's a lot of options for customizing your character, customizing your guns, a decent amount of attachments which you don't have to worry about getting at the end of a heist anymore. You just buy them when you want them, no continental coins here. And honestly, it's a pretty nice system because of it. Something I will poke fun at and say is not the best is the skill tree itself. In Payday 2, same thing. You level up, you earn points, you put them in whatever you want, whenever you want. Here in Payday 3, you have to research first the tree you want to get into by just playing the game. And then if you want to progress that particular skill, you better put points in those trees, or else you're never going to gain any more skills in them. Again, what is the problem with them just letting you play the game you want to play? Why is it they have to put these gates in the way to make it more of a pain in the ass to play? Anyway, to speak on some positives about the gameplay to kick us off for gameplay in general, the gunplay in this game feels a lot better, in my opinion, than it does in Payday 2. Guns here actually feel like they make more of an impact on the targets you hit, and using something like a shotgun and just throwing people over feels very satisfying in this one in comparison to the second game. The only thing that really ruins the gunplay, in my opinion, is that reload times for some weapons can seem ungodly long for no reason, and the big thing that hampers all the gunplay is because the challenges force you to use guns you might not want to use. You might want to use everything, but the only way you're going to level up is if you do challenges with particular guns, if you've already done it with the other guns. So just something to keep in mind, that the challenge system is going to make sure that you use every weapon, even if you don't want to. Another cool little thing about gameplay, which I thought was going to be a chore, is the new lockpicking system. In this game now, in Payday 2, you had it that lockpicking was just you hold down a button and you sit there and watch the progress bar go. In this game, it's very similar to Dead by Daylight's generator system, where you watch a little thing go around in a circle, hit the button at the right time, and it triggers an additional progress percentage to picking the lock. This makes picking locks extremely quick now, as opposed to what it was in Payday 2, even without skills. In Payday 2, even with skills, it still take forever, but in this game, it's lightning quick. So when you do the armored truck heist, you can clear out the entire back of the truck within like 2 minutes at worst, if you ace every single check. So now let's go on to teammate AI, since we're going to be mostly using footage of me playing with the bots, and majority of my gameplay came from playing solo, because in Payday 2, playing solo is actually not too bad. In this game, the bots don't get any of the benefits they had from Payday 2. That's right. The bots in this one are pretty much just your ragtag team that tags along with you. Their biggest advantage, I would say, aside from them being decent at taking out regular enemies, they actually drop supplies that you might need at the end of police assaults. So if you're low on health, armor, or ammo, one of the guys, one of the three, will drop you an ammo box, a medic bag, and an armor box. And they do it if you need the supplies. So it's pretty cool because there's more of an incentive to play by yourself, and actually an advantage because you actually have supplies in this one, and your perks do help you like get more percentage out of like get more ammo if you have that perk. There is one thing I can say about these bots that I absolutely hate compared to the second game. In the second game, if cloakers or tasers are coming out to get you, they can hit anybody on the team, AI or human. In this game, the bots are not affected by any of the special enemies except for dozers, because dozers just shoot regular rounds at people and shields shoot regular guns. So when zappers come out, which are the new tasers, when naders come out, the guys who throw grenades, and when cloakers come out, they don't even look at the bots. They only look at you. So the reason why this is annoying is because whenever you hear a cloaker noise, you know it's only coming for you. And let me tell you, these bots stink at hitting the cloakers when they're by themselves. On the subject of enemies and gameplay in general, let's now discuss a quick little note about, I guess, the chaoticness of this game. People who played Payday 2 would understand the chaos of the game. So, in my opinion, this game is a lot more tame as opposed to what Payday 2 would be. I want you to take a look at these next few set of clips, and you tell me in your opinion which game is more chaotic. In my opinion, Payday 2 is a lot more chaotic, and depending on what type of gameplay you like, it will determine which one you would enjoy more. Me personally, I think Payday 3 is a little bit easier for newer people to grasp, and then Payday 2 is what you throw yourself into when you're ready for an intensive drug trip.
We're gone.
Personally, I just think that the second game is more intense, with a lot more going on, and just seems so much cooler than the third game, to be honest. Anyway, let's move on to sound. Sound is a pretty important thing to this game, so let's discuss it just a little bit more detail. When playing with people and with bots, I've noticed that the AI characters on your team, so, you know, Hoxton, Chains, Dallas, and Wolf, everybody's just so quiet. I feel like I could hear the cops more in Payday 3 than I could in Payday 2, when it should be the other way around. I should be able to hear my teammates. And this is why I believe that they really wanted to build this game around you play with people, so that people would be communicating in like Discord or something, as opposed to just letting the characters speak. Like, listen to this Payday 3 clip and just tell me who you hear more, the cops or our guys calling out like kills and stuff.
Setting up overkill delivery.
I got the shield!
Mind you, I haven't edited any sound settings at all to lower or rise anything. Now take a listen to a similar Payday 2 clip, again, with none of the audio settings changed. And notice how you can always hear the characters speaking over the music, so you always know what's going on.
Spotted a cloaker! Watch out for moving up! Got a shield over here!
Taser down! Got a shield over here! Shield taken care of!
Now, give them hell!
I survived people.
Taser down!
Eyes over there.
I understand in the Payday 2 footage there's a lot more cops in the field, and the difficulty didn't change much when I played on very hard and even a little bit of overkill in Payday 3, as opposed to those difficulties in Payday 2. Because even normal and hard in Payday 2, there were still cops everywhere. The footage of the jewelry store was on hard, and then the bank was on overkill, and the amount of cops was not changing much. So take that as you will. To close up before the verdict, our final thoughts here, or some of our final thoughts here. I mean, they make the enemies in this game seem more like supervillains as opposed to like, you know, what it was in the second and first game where you were still kind of the bad guys. Enemies, you can hear them a lot more. Their voice lines are a lot louder than your own team, so you can kind of hear them. They always have something to say. Cloakers always taunt you when they're beating the hell out of you. Dozers emote on you when you're fighting them. They hit their chest. I don't understand it. You know, the new specials, like the zappers, they're just tasers. Like, their only special thing they do is they put down mines on occasion. It's ridiculous. This game makes strides in the right direction, and then it also makes a lot of strides backwards. Like customization and such, I think it made strides forward. Gunplay, it made strides forward. Progression, it made massive strides backward. Enemy variety and difficulty, it made strides backwards as well. You know. So anyway, let's move on to the verdict. After all this nonsense, I'm going to give Payday 3 a 6.5.
I have a question for God. Why?
This game did not get a 6 or lower because I do actually like what I see with this game, as much as it sounds like there's a lot of problems with it. I feel like Overkill and all their developers and publishers and all this jazz can definitely turn this game around if they just make the better decisions. I'd say if they revamped the leveling up system to make it more like the second game, this game would easily be a 7, 7.5. Because there's a lot going on for this game. There's some decent gunplay in this game. They have good teammate AI for single player. The heists are actually pretty decent. There's not as much time wasting in this game, but they just have some things that they really need to fix. The guns in this game are very similar to Call of Duty, where you have to constantly use them to unlock attachments and whatnot for them, which again forces you to use guns that you might not want to use. The challenge system basically forces you to play in a certain way if you want to progress quickly. The C-Stack currency forces you to play the heists over and over and over to trade them in, and you can only do it a certain amount of time within like the 24-hour period. So they're basically saying, hey, if you want to unlock this gun, you're going to have to play this game for weeks. Like, I don't understand why so many modern games today feel like they need to arbitrarily keep you hooked to a game just by making it a grind instead of just making the game fun. Baldur's Gate 3, you know, Dawn of War, Company Heroes 2, you know, games like this did not force you to play the game, right? They said, hey, we're going to make a fun game and you are going to play it a lot because it's going to be enjoyable. And they were right. Their games were enjoyable, and that's why we play them so much. But games like this, Call of Duty, Diablo 4, they are looking for things to kind of arbitrarily force you to play the game and just keep you playing it in any way they can think of. So again, Payday 3 is going to force you to play with guns you don't want to play with because you got to beat those challenges to level up quickly. Or hey, do you want to get some like a sight on a gun you might use for stealth only? You better start using it in loud heists so you can level it up quicker because you ain't leveling up jack shit in stealth, let me tell you that much. So I just don't understand it why game developers make these changes. Like Payday 2 was amazing. Like in the time between Payday 2 and Payday 3, there was always, me and my best friend play, like at least 25,000 people always playing on CrimeNet every time we would log into the game. Like, and that was consistent. Like, without a free weekend, it was like at least 25,000 people. That's an insane number for a game that came out so long ago. And yet, you make this game going like, these are going to be changes people want to see. Yeah, I wanted to see challenges that's the only real way to level up instead of me just doing good on a heist or playing a heist on a higher difficulty. Because honestly, there is no reason to play heists on higher difficulties in this game. Let's be 100% real. You don't need to. Just do the challenges on any difficulty and you're good. There's only some challenges do require you to play the game on certain difficulties, but not the main easy ones to do. Like the combat ones and the heist ones are pretty easy to accomplish without playing on any other difficulty. Well, mainly the combat ones. AKA just use a gun and get a certain amount of kills, get a certain amount of headshots. You name it, just do it and you'll get a lot of points. So, and there's not a lot of reward in this either. Like, in Payday 2, there was masks you can get for completing every heist in a difficulty. I don't think there's any like that in this one. We'll find out in the final thoughts video, or the afterthoughts video. Anyway, that's going to call it for Payday 3. I seriously hope they fix this game and do more to it, because to be honest, this game was pretty entertaining for the most part. There's just too much with it that I feel like is holding it back right now. And we just need more to bring it up to a higher standard so that it can compete with the second game. Because right now I'm saying the second game probably, let's be real, it whoops this game's ass. Anyway guys, that's going to call it for this part. I'll see you in the next video.